Right, so we keep going. I don't think I finished the previous one. Yeah, so I got the midpoint of AB. I got the slope of AB. So now I want to do the equation of the line, but hang on now. So the equation of the line is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Sorry, I'm on the wrong internet connection on my iPad, which is not ideal. Right, so I have put down the formula for the equation of a line. It just hasn't appeared yet. I might try and, oh no, not that one, shut it down. Okay, that worked. Right, so the point is here, so that's x1 and y1, and the slope of the line I want is perpendicular to AB. So if AB is 2, then to get the perpendicular slope, I make that a fraction. And I flip it. So instead of 2 over 1, it's 1 over 2. And then instead of it being positive, which it is at the minute, I make it negative. So I flipped it, and AB had a positive slope, so then my one has a negative slope. So now I can sub in. So y minus 3 equals minus a half x minus 1. Okay, I was just looking back up here. It just says find the equation of the line. It doesn't say anything about the form, so we'll keep it simple. So y minus 3 equals minus a half x plus a half. God, it's very slow. And then I'm just going to isolate this here. So I'm going to do plus 3 on both sides and give it in the form y equals mx plus c. So that's y equals minus a half x. What's 3.5? 7 over 2, is it? So I'm adding a half and 3. So it's 7 over 2. Right, so that's that. Use your answer to part A to find the coordinates of the circumcenter. Okay, so circumcenter, I actually, here it is here. The circumcenter is the point where the perpendicular bisector of the sides of a triangle meet. Okay, so it is the point of intersection of the perpendicular bisectors, which if you weren't sure, you probably got a hint in that that's exactly what we calculated up here. So it's a bisector because it went through the midpoint and then it was perpendicular. So we calculated a perpendicular bisector. So essentially what I need to do is get another perpendicular bisector. And then I want to see where they intersect. So point of intersection is simultaneous equations. So it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to go with this one. Yeah. So I'm going to get, so I'm doing the exact same thing again, except this time with different points. So midpoint of B, which is 4, 9, and C is minus 4, 3. Yeah, and then I'm also going to get the slope of the exact same thing. X1, Y1, X2, Y2, and the midpoint formula. Okay, so I'm going through the exact same thing again, just with 2 different points. I also think I'm going to have to change the form of my line up above because it's just easier to do simultaneous equations with the other version of the line. But we'll worry about that in a sec. Okay, so subbing in, I get 4 plus minus 4 over 2 and 9 plus 3 over 2. 4 plus minus 4 is 4 minus 4, which is 0. And 9 and 3 is 12. 12 over 2 is 6. Okay, and then over here I get 3 minus 9 over minus 4 minus 4. So that's minus 6 over minus 8, which is 3/4. So then to do the equation of the line, there's my equation of a line formula. X1, Y1 is the midpoint. And here, to get the perpendicular slope, I flip it upside down and change the sign. Okay. So y minus 6 equals minus 4 over 3 times x minus 0. Y minus 6 equals minus 4 over 3x. So multiplying these two here gives me minus 4 over 3x, and then multiplying these two is just 0, so I'm just not going to write it. Right, so this is what I'm going to have to do up above as well. I'm going to multiply across by 3. So I put the other two over 1 to make them fractions, and then I'm going to multiply everything by 3. So I get 3y minus 18. Here the 3's cancel, so that equals minus 4x. And then if we rearrange, so I'm going to plus 4x and plus 4x. And I'm going to plus 18 and plus 18. So that gives me 4x plus 3y equals 18. Okay, I'm going to go back up here and do the same thing with this, just to make it easier to simultaneous. So if I put this over 1 and multiply across by 2, then this gets multiplied by 2, this gets multiplied by 2, and this gets multiplied by 2. So the first one is just 2y. The second one, the 2's cancel, so it's minus 1x. And the third one, the 2's cancel, so it's plus 7. And then I'm just going to move that one. So it's 1x plus 2y equals 7. Okay, and then to find the circumcenter, we just find the point of intersection of the perpendicular bisectors. So it's just a simultaneous equation. I'm just going to write it while I'm looking at it. So 1x plus 2y equals 7. And then the second one is 4x plus 3y equals 18. Okay, and that's what I have over here. Okay, so I'm going to multiply the top line by minus 4. So that gives me minus 4x minus 8y equals minus 28. And the bottom line is unchanged. So now the x's cancel. Okay, the y's are minus 5y and the numbers is minus 10. So I'm going to isolate the y by dividing by minus 5 to cancel out the multiplied by minus 5. And then I divide by minus 5 on the far side. So that's 2 for y. And then if I take the first one, so 1x plus 2y equals 7. And we're going to do 1x plus 2 times 2 equals 7. 1x plus 4 equals 7. So there's your plus 4 equals 7. I'm trying to isolate the x, so I'm minus 4 on both sides. So 1x equals 3. You can either divide across by 1 or else recognize that 1x can be an invisible one. So either way, it's just x equals 3. So what's the question? The coordinates of the circumcenter. So the coordinates of the circumcenter is the x is 3 and the y is 2. Oh, I didn't check any of these. Okay, so this one was find the equation of the line. The equation of the line is x plus 2y equals 7, which is correct, and it's 10 marks. And then the circumcenter is 3, 2, which is 15. So that is 25. Oh, not in here. Yeah, for the circumcenter. So all right, we'll keep going. Bernoulli. Keep going while I'm not being interrupted. So the probability that a certain rugby player scores for each place kick he attempts is 85%. Okay, so the probability of scoring is 0.85. During a particular match, he takes 5 place kicks. Find, correct to 4 decimal places, the probability that he scores exactly 3 of the 5 attempts. Okay, so this is success and failure, literally. He either scores or he misses. Probability of missing is 0.15. So he makes 5 attempts. We want him to score 3 of them. Probability of scoring is 0.85 and we want him to score 3. And the probability of missing is 0.15 and we need him to miss twice. So I'm getting 0.1382 to 4 decimal places like we were asked. Yep. 1382, 5 marks. Right. Find, corrected 4 decimal places, the probability that he scores for the 3rd time on his 5th attempt. Okay, so the first 4 attempts, he must score twice, and 5th attempt, he scores. Okay, so he scores for the 3rd time on his fifth attempt. So we know he scores here, and we know that's going to be his 3rd score. Yeah? So that's equivalent to this. And then if that's his 3rd score, it means he must have scored 2 other times. We just don't know when. That's where Bernoulli comes in. So that's that. Yeah? Okay, so out of 4 attempts, we want him to score twice. The probability of scoring is 0.85 and we would like him to score twice. The probability of missing is 0.15 and we need him to miss twice. So of the first 4 attempts, he's going to score 2, miss 2, and multiply. He scores on the 5th attempt. So the 5th attempt is a score and the probability of a score is 0.85. And figure it out. Multiplied by 0.85 squared, multiplied by 0.15 squared, multiplied by 0.85. Oh, I don't know if I've typed that correctly. So I'm getting 0.0829 for that one. Yeah, 0.0829, also 5 marks. Okay. He scores at least 3 attempts during the match. So at least 3 means he scores... If he scores at least 3, it means he scores either 3 or 4 or 5. Yeah? So the probability of scoring 3 is out of the 5 scores 3. We want 3 scores. and 2 misses. That's scoring 3 times. Or he could score 4 times, which is out of 5, he will score 4 of them. The probability of scoring, and we want 4 scores. And the probability of missing, and we want 1 miss. And then the last one is where he scores all 5. So that is 5 choose 5. He's going to score all 5. And he's going to miss none. Okay. So 5 choose 3 multiplied by 0.85 cubed multiplied by 0.15 squared. And this one is 0.138, and it goes on. And I'm going to store that in A. Okay. Plus 5 choose 4 multiplied by 0.85 to the power of 4 multiplied by 0.15 to the power of 1. So that is 0.3915, and again it continues, and we'll store that in B. And then the last one is 5 choose 5 multiplied by 0.85 to the power of 5 multiplied by 0.15 to the power of 0. And here I am getting OR, so plus for OR, 0.4437, and I'm going to store that in C. Okay, and then just add them up. So I'm doing alpha A plus alpha B plus alpha C. So to 4 decimal places, I'm getting 0.9734. 0.9734. So let's have a look. 9734. Another 5 marks. Okay, A, B, and C are 3 events. A and B are independent. Now, how did we get independent events? Sorry, I'm trying to think this through. So the probability, that's the conditional probability formula. So the probability of A given that B has already occurred is the probability of the intersection over the probability of B. But if they're independent, then the probability of A occurring given that B has already occurred is the same as the probability of A. So the probability of A equals the probability of A intersection B over the probability of B if they're independent. So that gives me the probability of A intersection B is the probability of A times the probability of B. Okay, which you could obviously just learn as well. Okay, so A and B are independent. So that means the probability of the intersection, which is 1 over 12, is equal to the probability of A multiplied by the probability of B. So that means the probability of B must be, definitely going to get interrupted again here, 1 over 12 divided by 1 over 3, which is 1 over 4. So that's the probability of B. Right, I'm going to stop before they barge in.